we're gonna check is our seat belt. Okay, make sure it latches and unlatches. Okay, we're gonna perform a safe start. Truck is in neutral. Parking brakes are out. Key on, engine off. Gauges are sweeping, and our ABS light will turn on and off. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start the truck. Clutch in. Starting the truck. Okay. Now that we got the truck started, we're gonna go ahead and rev it up. Gonna build up our primary and secondary gauges between 120 and 140 with a governor cutoff of 140. Gonna go ahead and rev it. Keep it below 1500 RPMs. For the governor cutoff. Should be getting there pretty soon. There it is. Okay. That was the governor cutoff, okay? So now we need to set up for our brake test, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and turn off the truck. Okay. We're gonna put the key on, engine off. We're gonna release the brakes, both tractor trailer, and then wait for our gauges to settle.
Okay.
Okay, primary, secondary gauges. Once they've settled, we can begin our brake test. So the first section of our test is gonna consist of our service brake test, okay? So I'm gonna apply firm pressure to the brake for 1 minute. I should not lose more than 4 PSI in that 1 minute. The examiner will you time me, and I will time myself. After I explain that, I will go ahead and hold firm pressure. Assuming a minute has passed, we'll go ahead and let off the brake. Okay, and then tell them the result. I did not lose more than 4 PSI in that 1 minute. Okay, that's section 1. Section 2, we're gonna continue pumping the brakes until our low pressure warning light and alarm come on. Both of them should come on at or before 55 PSI. So I'm gonna pump now. There it is. There's my brake light, and there's my alarm. Both of them came on at or before 55 PSI. That's section 2. Section 3, I'm gonna continue pumping my brakes until both my brake valves come out. Both of them should come out between 20 and 45 PSI. So I'm gonna continue pumping now. Eyes on the valves. There goes one. Now we're looking for the tractor brake. There it is. So both my tractor and my trailer brake popped out between 20 and 45 PSI. That will conclude my brake test. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do another safe start. Double check neutral. Make sure our parking brakes are out. We already got the key on, engine off, so we're just gonna clutch in and start the truck. Gonna build the air pressure back up between 120 and 140. For practice sake, I'm just gonna build it up to 100. Usually we will go up to the governor cutoff, but for practice sake, we're just gonna build it to 100. So now we're gonna go ahead and test our parking brakes, our tractor and trailer brakes, each individually. It doesn't matter which one you test first, as long as you do both. So in this instance, I'm gonna test my tractor brakes. I'm gonna leave that one out, release my trailer brake. I'm gonna go ahead and clutch in, all the way down, clutch brake, and then put it in first gear, okay? I'm gonna slowly let off the clutch to the friction point. Okay, you'll feel the truck start to pull, start to bind up. Truck shouldn't move. So my parking brakes on my tractor held. Now, you can either leave it in gear, just don't forget that it's in gear, or you can put it back in neutral. In this case, I'm gonna just leave it in gear. Now I'm gonna test my trailer brakes. We'll release that first. Now release my tractor brakes, because we are testing our trailer brakes. Still got it in gear. Gonna go ahead and let off the clutch, just enough to the friction point. The truck should start to pull. Okay, there it is. So my truck didn't move, so my trailer brakes held. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and test my service brakes. I'm gonna pull up going 5 miles an hour, so I'm gonna put it in second or third gear. Gonna pull up going 5 miles an hour, and then I'm gonna apply my service brakes. Okay? We're gonna let off the clutch and we're gonna accelerate. Get up to 5 miles an hour. Okay? So my truck stopped evenly, then it pulled to the left or to the right. That will conclude my service brake test. So since we're inside the cab, we're going to go ahead and go over our in-cab inspection. Starting with our mirrors, okay, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, clean and clear, and they're adjusted to me, the driver. The windshield, the glass itself, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, clean and clear, no illegal stickers. Once you get to the windshield, do everything on the windshield. The wipers are the plastic part that holds the rubber blade. Properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Then the windshield wiper blade itself, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, and they are pressed against the windshield. Okay? Then we will test the function. The function's right here where we toggle our turn signals. Okay? So it acts as a knob. We could turn it. That activates the wipers. To test the washer, it also acts as a button. We'll press and hold. Okay? And you'll hear the little motor running. Okay? I don't have any washer fluid. Okay? Just make sure that the function works and it has fluid. Okay? That's everything on the windshield. After that, we'll do a full sweep from left to right, starting with our horns. Air horn, make sure it works. City horn, make sure it works. Now we're going to test our indicators. Indicators consist of three things. Our full-way flashers, make sure that they come on. Okay, they work. Left signal works. Right signal works. High beam works. Okay. Then we'll come here to climate controls. We'll test the defrost, make sure it's on heat. Okay. Turn it on. Make sure we have airflow at the windshield. Okay. We have airflow, so our defrost works. While it's still in heat, we'll test our heater at our feet. Make sure we have airflow at our feet, so our heater works. Okay. From there, we'll go ahead and ask the examiner if he could please help us check the lights in the front. Okay. So he will get out, check the lights in the front, and you got to tell him which ones you're checking. So you'll tell him left signal. He'll give you a thumbs up, it's okay. Right signal, thumbs up. High beams, they work. Full-way flashers, they work as well. And then the low beam. There's a knob right here on the side, right by the door. All the way to the right, and then the low beam should work. Okay. After that, the examiner will walk to the back of the truck, and he'll do the same thing. So full-way flashers, make sure they work on the back, looking at them in the mirror. Our left signal, make sure it works. Our right signal, make sure it works. And then our brake light, that's exclusive to the back of the trailer. Make sure it works. Okay. That will conclude our in-cab. Fire extinguisher, it's properly mounted and secured, and make sure it's fully charged. Point at the gauge. Okay. To open the baggage compartment, gonna make sure we pull that tab. It's labeled baggage. We're gonna go here. Gonna check our other two pieces of emergency equipment. Okay. And this box contains our 3 reflective triangles, and then we should have a bag of spare fuses. Sorry, I don't have one, but it should contain 6 fuses in there. Okay. That's our emergency equipment. A bag of spare fuses, minimum of 6, 3 reflective triangles, and then our fire extinguisher, which is properly mounted and secured, and it is fully charged. Okay. Now we're going to start at the front of the truck, starting with the lenses. Our headlights, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, clean and clear. Make sure the indicator light is amber in color. We'll check the passenger side, one the same way. Next we'll go underneath the hood. We're going to talk about our coolant reservoir. Coolant reservoir and our hoses. So the reservoir first, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no leaks, and it is filled to the proper level. We got our 2 caps. which are on tight. Underneath there are rubber seals, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, no leaks. Our hoses, make sure there's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. They are also properly mounted and secured and no leaks. Oil dipstick, you don't have to take it out. You just tell them how you would check it. Oil dipstick, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no leaks. Okay? The way you would check it is by pulling it out, cleaning it off, putting it back in, pulling it out, and it should read between add and full. Okay? If we need to add oil, there's our oil fill cap right there. Power steering reservoir and the hoses. Power steering reservoir, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no leaks. It is filled to the proper level. There's our sight glass. Underneath, excuse me, our caps are on tight. Underneath there are rubber seals. No abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Also no leaks. Our hoses, power steering hoses, properly mounted and secured. No abrasions, bulges, or cuts. No leaks. Okay? That will conclude the front of the truck and underneath the hood. Okay? Our steering axle, that consists of our steering column right here. Properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. When I rotate it, shouldn't rotate more than 10 degrees. That leads down to our gearbox. Properly mounted, secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. No leaks. Coming out of our gearbox, we got our 3-piece steering linkage. 3-piece steering linkage consists of our pitman arm, our drag link connected to it, and then right behind the axle, you got your tie rod. Okay, right behind the axle. It's that black bar going across. Yes, sir. Okay. All three are properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. And all three are securely held together with 3 castle nuts and 3 cotter pins. That's an example of how one looks like right here. Okay. Coming out, we'll start off with suspension. We got our front leaf spring mount and our rear leaf spring mount. Okay. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Okay. Then we got our leaf springs in between. Properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, not scissored or shifted. And then we got our shock absorber. Okay. Properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no leaks. Next, we'll talk about our brakes. So brake line, properly mounted, secured, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, no leaks. Our brake contaminants consist of our brake drum right behind the wheel and our lining. We got to make sure our lining is free from debris or free from oil and grease. From there, we'll come out to the tires and the rims. Tires, properly mounted, secured, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts, no leaks. 3 details about this tire you have to tell me about. So the face, make sure it's evenly worn, no uneven wear. Tread depth is 4/32 up here, and this tire cannot be recapped, okay, or retreaded. Then we'll come to the rim, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no legal welds. Our lug nuts, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Make sure they're all present, no rust or shiny spots. And then the studs, make sure they're not elongated, meaning stretched. Okay. That will conclude the steering system, the steering axle. Coming out to the side of the vehicle, we got our lenses, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, clean and clear, amber in color. Traffic monitoring devices again. This time we're talking about the bracket. Properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Down here, we got our battery box, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Make sure there's no loose hanging wires or exposed wires. Our def tank, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Okay, no leaks. The cap is blue in color. It is held to the tank with a chain. It is on tight, and underneath there are rubber seals. No abrasions, bulges, or cuts, no leaks. Okay. Fuel tank, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, no leaks. The cap is held to the tank with a chain. It is on tight. No abrasions, bulges, or cuts on the seal, and also no leaks. The frame. Properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. No illegal welds. Okay. That will conclude the side of the vehicle. Now we go over coupling. All the components that make this tractor trailer a combination vehicle. So our air lines and electrical line. All three are properly mounted, secured. No abrasions, bulges, or cuts. Our air lines have no leaks, and our electrical has no exposed or bare wires. Okay. Our connectors, we got our glad hands, and then the connections coming from the back of the tractor. Both are properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. No leaks. Okay. Coming down here, we got our apron, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Our apron sits on top on the skid plate, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Make sure it's fully lubricated or fully greased. In between the apron and the skid plate, there should be no gap, no visible light between the two. Our locking and safety devices, that will consist of our release arm, that handle right there, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Make sure it's in and in the lock position. Coming around here, you got your locking jaws. Locking jaws are properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, and they are securely locked around the shank of the kingpin. And the kingpin itself, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. Okay. Come and show them the kingpin. Kingpin's right here. That's how it's supposed to look like. The shank is the thinnest part of that kingpin. That's what your locking jaws go around. Okay. That will conclude coupling. Now, the trailer. Starting off with the clearance. The clearance, we should have enough clearance between the rear of the tractor and the landing gear. If they ask you why, the clear turns. Simple answer. Landing gear assembly. Properly mounted, secured. Our foot is fully raised. Our crank is stowed away in the lock position or in the cradle. All those things doing the same thing. Just make sure it's securely locked. Okay. Our reflective tape. Make sure it's properly mounted and secured. Make sure it's clean and clear. It needs to be visible, right? And it should cover at least 50% of the entire trailer. Last two items. It's got your lenses and your lights, okay? Lenses and reflectors. All of them are properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, clean and clear, red in color. Okay? Then our DOT bumper has 100% coverage, DOT tape. Okay? And that will conclude your pre-trip.